Hey guys, this is Man of Steel 00 coming at you with another Vi jungle video. Now, basically, this is a game I recorded yesterday, and I'm going to be doing the commentary today for it. So, basically, we are starting down on the red side with this game. The build I'm using is my standard build, which means that it's attack damage reds, attack speed quints, armor yellows, and magic resist blues, and I'm going 12-0-18 with Courage of the Colossus as my keystone. So this was actually a very, as usual, a very good game with Vi. She's a very strong jungler right now, which is why I'm sort of maining her for the moment. I was maining her last season as well, but this season I find that she's even stronger than last. Now we're gonna start off red this side, and we're gonna go do right away the bottom camp. Basically, I prefer starting on the other side of the map because I prefer starting blue, but especially with a Nasus, I didn't want to have him leash me on a blue buff, because Nasus really needs, especially against an Aurelia, needs to be in lane, needs to get his farm, his stacks or whatnot. If I ask him to leash me top, he starts with a disadvantage, especially if the Aurelia starts pushing hard. So that's why I decided to start red, even though generally I prefer starting with blue buff on Vi, because it is very strong and lets you spam her abilities early and not worry about low mana. It also gives you an easier potential to gank at level 3, because if you see here, you take a lot of damage from the bottom camps that you don't from the top camps. So basically right now I'm looking bot, I see they're getting pushed in. So I'm gonna go see nonetheless if there's something I can do. I'm gonna see if I can heal from River Crab. Now I see the Sona gets first blood, so my worries are relieved a little bit and I decide to turn my attention more towards mid. So basically I'm gonna stay here in the bush a little bit, see if we can't pressure mid out. And there we go. Flash. Finish him off with the red buff, with the red. Now I see Aurelia coming bot here, coming mid, and I think my mid laner is going to be able to pull back easily. Unfortunately, she gets her under tower. I tried to go after Aurelia, but she's a little bit too quick for me, so it's not worth wasting any more time here. What we're going to do is we're going to push the lane in instead. So once again, this is something I like to stress. When you come to a lane to gank, unfortunately the laner dies. Make sure to push his lane in if you can. What it means is that basically when the mid laner is going to come back to the lane, one, the other mid laner is losing out on farm, and number two, he comes back to a pushing wave. So it's a better situation for them than you leave the wave like in mid, and it can even be worse. It can slow push back towards the opponent's tower, which leaves him with the perfect wave. So we're going to keep going on with our farm, trying to get blue buff here, because if you look, I'm out of mana, and I don't necessarily want to go back yet, because I think there's more I can do on the map. Now Nasus has Aurelia right under the tower, so I know unfortunately there's nothing I can do there. If I had ult, it'd be different, but right now, since I don't have my ultimate, there's not really much I can do. Anyway, she's the one calling for help. Now, actually, I'm going to turn off the vision of the other team. We're going to go with blue team, because right now we're seeing the other team and it's not really representative of what I could see at that moment in the match. So yeah, I had no idea that the jungler was going top. But like I said, at that point there was nothing I could do. I was too far away to really be able to impact the lane. So I come back and I grab my items. So basically on Vi right now I'm rushing Trinity Force even before my jungle item. Normally I go get the red jungle item for the attack damage. But right now, I find she's even stronger if you rush straight for Trinity Force. So, I mean, every to each his own, but I find that you really impact more the map with an early Trinity Force than with the red, the finishing your jungle item. And even here, I took the first component just because it was a more efficient buy. But sometimes I'll even start with the mid component, which is your the mana item, just to help with your mana pool. Now here I was waiting in the bush. They actually tried to tangle with me. Unfortunately, I get CC'd, and I'm taking a lot of damage here. So I decide to pull back slowly, and we have Yi coming. However, Yi is an easy kill at this point, because if you've ever played Master Yi, you know that it takes a while for him to get going. And I'm just waiting for my Q to come up, and there we go. So we've got 2 kills now. And here I have my bot laners unfortunately getting hammered, so I ult in. Unfortunately, they're once again doing more damage than I was expecting. So I Q out, pop a pot, and head for my mid tower. Now on top of it we've got coming, so I do a blind Q into the bushes, because at that point I preferred shutting him down. I preferred getting the kill on him and having enough gold to actually finish another part of my Trinity Force. So it was maybe a little greedy of me to go in for that kill, but I knew I could get it, and it let me buy a whole other portion of my Trinity Force with 10% cooldown reduction, which is really good with your ult, because basically your ult is your most potent ganking tool, and even in team fights it lets you basically isolate the back line of the other team very easily. And especially with a Master Yi as well, it'll sort of, if he goes off, it'll help sort of freeze him in place. Now I pumped my Q there because I thought someone was actually hiding in the bushes. When I realized it wasn't, I decided to turn around. So right now it's going pretty well. As you can see, I've got most of the kills on my team, and we're slightly ahead. But I also see that all the lanes are pretty much holding their own, and especially Nasa's top, I wasn't expecting him to do as well. So I'm really happy I didn't have to babysit the Nasa's top, because that can sometimes be a real headache when they're starting to stack early, and they get stuck under tower. You're sometimes forced to go top pretty often. Now the bot got another kill on us there, which is getting me a little worried, but there's not much you can do at this point. So I C3'd the bot, and honestly, Misfortune's under tower. There's probably nothing I can do there alone, so I decide to push in mid instead. So we're gonna pressure mid instead of going bot and probably just feeding them another kill, because as you saw, by the time I got there they would have killed Misfortune, who was camped under the tower. Now we're missing out on some CS here, but that happens sometimes before you get your attack speed item. So I decide to go bot just because I totally ignore him, because honestly there's not much I can do against him on my own at this point. I was still waiting for I wanted to go bot as soon as possible and try to get the Callista on her own, but unfortunately she backed already. So now we are gonna just take a look at the map. We see that the mid laner's there. So next thing I want to do is I want to set up so that we can take dragon if the occasion arises. So I go get the jungle creep, the river creep, and we go look at mid, who is basically a prime target right now. Now he goes hard on our mid laner, so we have to shut him down. Now once again we're going to push the lane in, make sure our laner comes back to a pushing lane. Fortunately I see that Nasus died for the first time at that point, and he died to the jungler, so I'm right away going to go check my blue buffs, because as you can see I'm totally out of mana, so if I want to be able to stay on the map I'm going to need a blue buff. And even if I'm not going to stay on the map, I prefer to get it before going back to the base, because the extra mana regen really helps. And the extra cooldown reduction as well really helps for your ult to get up as soon as possible, even quicker. So at this point, I already know that I have enough gold to finish off my Trinity Force, but I see top, sort of top laner was pushing in and was past the mid, so I knew that it was maybe a possibility for me to do something. I see the ward in the bush, I decide to clear it. And unfortunately there's not much we can do because we don't have vision of her anymore. Now again I see mid lane pushing back into the tower, so I'm gonna go and farm that while I can. And in the mid time I see that they're pushing my bot lane, so I decide to continue on and go straight to bot lane, see if there's anything I can do. Then I see them backing, which obviously tells me that going there is totally useless. It's going to be 1v3 and it's not at all a good situation, so we're better off just pushing mid. Now I know I can 1v1 him, but it's not a good use of my time, because there's always the off chance where he will land a stun on me and unfortunately I'll be the one dying. And since there's not really much to gain out of it, I prefer to continue farming on, and we're gonna go look at the bot lane now. So unfortunately I see that he just got the dragon, but I decide to go bot anyway, even though I know he's somewhere around here. Fortunately, I soak in most of the damage, but we don't get a kill. So I decide to go back, and now we are going to finish our Trinity Force, and we are even going to be able to finish our boots. Now basically I want to make sure that I have the highest mobility possible, but over mobility boots I prefer basically the sprinting boots, because you have the reduction on the slows, and in a game like this it's really important that you have mobility even during the fights, because we're against a Master Yi who's a high mobility champ. And, if he has his ult, okay, we're not going to catch him, but for any other case, I want to make sure that I'm able to catch Master Yi if I need to. So we're just going to clear the red buff, clear the ward. Anyway, he saw me there, so whether I did it first or after, there wasn't much of a difference. I had a pretty good idea that he wasn't anywhere around here. Now I'm gonna see if I can make a play on bot here, because so far they've been getting hammered pretty hard. Now we're gonna go for the Leona, because she's the only one I can actually reach. And there we go, we got Leona out of there. Fortunately, I don't have my ult, but yeah, double kill. So we finally managed to wipe out that bot lane, which was being such a pain in the ass, and even the Master Yi here is gonna get taken out. So honestly, this is the play where I would say the game really turned in our favor. sometimes you sort of know the moment where a game sort of fell out of hand for the other team. And this is it, where Nasus basically pushes in top tower. We get 3 kills bot. And we basically now have control of the map. So from here on out, you know, the point is, what you want to do is you want to keep control of the map, so you want to keep your lanes pushing as hard as possible. What that means is that right now I'm looking for mid lane, even though I'm farming, because it's really important to stay ahead of the curve. By the way, this season farm is really important. I maybe haven't stressed it enough in the other videos I've done so far, but one of the big differences I can tell between a game where we're really winning and where we're losing is that basically every chance you have, you really farm as hard as you can. Now they traded 1-for-1 bot, so that's not worrying me too much, but I see Nasus has killed Master Yi top, so once again, props to this Nasus that I'm playing with, because I really didn't have to worry about him all game. So this was like a dual carry. Nasus was really pressuring top hard, and I was able to really, you know, dedicate myself to the other 2 lanes and make sure that everything goes smoothly in this game. So here I see the mid laner pushing the tower, and I decide that it's time to start working hard on mid. And I know I can catch him here, so I go hard for him, grab him with my ult, and take him down. Now, while we're there, and I knew Nasus had killed Master Yi, you know, not too long ago, he was probably already, he wasn't up yet, so I didn't have to worry too much. Actually, he was up. Sorry about that, I correct myself. He was up, but honestly, I wasn't too scared of him, because if you're looking at the Master Yi, he's got 2 kills, 4 deaths. I'm sitting on 7 kills, 1 death. I really wasn't scared of a 1v1 versus Master Yi in the jungle. So I see that basically they've decided to pressure mid, and once again I decide to split top, because honestly there's no reason to go there and basically not get anything out of it, so we work on the objectives rather than the kills. Anyway, we're at this point we're starting to get ahead, and I have confidence that my laners will at least shouldn't do something too dumb. So we're gonna pressure top, and we keep grabbing the farm as well. So all in all, it's a very successful push, and I still see a bunch of people mid, so I'm like, why not even try for the tower? And here comes Master Yi. So like I said, at this point I'm not really too scared of a 1v1 versus Master Yi. Even I missed my Q, but if not, I would have actually tried to all in him under tower, because I'm pretty sure that with my ult up would have been an easy all in. So we grab his red buff, and we're actually going to go look to see if we can kill this Aurelia. So basically, I see her between the 2 towers, but I know that with my ult up, it should be a pretty quick kill. And we're going to keep pushing mid here, working on the objectives, like I said, not just running after kills. And I call here for us to keep pushing on the tower, because there's no reason for us to back at this point with just Master Yi there. Even with the bot laner, we decide to pull away, because honestly it's not worth giving them a chance to get back in the game by overextending. So then I see my team's calling for dragon. Problem is I'm very low on mana, so I would have liked to back, but you know what, sometimes I had confidence that I didn't need to be, you know, have all my abilities up to get this dragon, especially with my team and with Nasus there, and Nasus has been really tearing the game up so far as well. I mean, he's 6-2 against an Aurelia, so honestly, once again, props to him. I love playing with top laners that can carry. So we get the Mountain Dragon, and honestly there's not much we should keep going here, especially since I'm that low on mana, so we decide just to pull back. Once again, grab the farm before we go back, because hey, farm is always good. And like I said, this season, it's the junglers that farm the quickest, I find, are the junglers that are the best. And that's why Vi is so strong, because not only does she have really strong, you know, dueling abilities, but her E, which is an AoE, lets you clear the jungle so quick. Okay, so here I see them pushing mid, so we're gonna go off to the side to see what we can do. So I right away ult basically the mid laner, get him out of that game. Nasus is gonna keep going down the mid. We get the second tank, so now they have no frontliners really. I mean, the closest thing they have is an Aurelia who is underfed, so it's not really a problem. So we know we can push down the tower here. We grab the inhibitor. Just a little hello, how do you do? So I queue in, but you know, I start calling that there's not much we can do, let's just back out and play this smart. Because sometimes overstaying is basically what lets the other team get back in it. So we're going to clear their jungle on the way back. Make sure we take all the resources we can, get all the gold we can before we go back. And at this point, by the way, if you see, I've completed my jungle item on my last back. So damage-wise, we're full build. Sometimes I go get a lifesteal item last when the game goes really long, but ultimately at this point we're full build, so now it's time to get tanky. So if you look, I've already started working on my Dead Man's Plate, because the extra mobility it gives can be awesome. The extra damage as well on that first hit. When you combine it, a fully charged Q can really be devastating. So we already have mid down, we're pushing bot, and we have a team pushing top. So basically at this point, once again, we have full control of the map, and no matter who gets up, they're gonna have to decide which side they go on, and it'll be a 1v2 or a 2v2. So we don't even have to worry about going back yet. So they decide to put more of their resources on top, which leaves me and our mid laner free range to basically knock down the inhibitor here. And really, working the objectives is what's most important, so there was really no reason to go for the kills top. I just keep pushing in the towers. My mid laner is going anyway, so I just work on knocking those towers down and getting this game finished as soon as possible. I'm going to queue out, flash out here really quick. And there we go, guys. Another game done. So I hope you guys appreciate it. If you liked it, thumbs up. If you didn't, thumbs down. If you didn't like it, always please leave in the comments what you did not like, and I'll do my best next time to be better. So hope you enjoyed, hope you learned a little bit about Vi Jungle, and hope I see you next time. Thanks for watching.